Alright, what is up? This is SLOplays, and I am back again with some more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero discussion videos here on the channel. Let's finally talk about manga content, okay? This game has actually incorporated a few things from the manga, which, to my surprise, they're actually going through with. Now, when it comes to characters, new transformations, everything post the Dragon Ball Super Tournament of Power arc, I'm talking like Moro Saga, Granola arc, Gas, all those mofos, Ultra Ego Vegeta, as you can see here on screen. Will they be included eventually? Can they? Maybe. Honestly, it's definitely possible, but it's more unlikely currently at this moment right now. I wouldn't expect it to be coming anytime soon or, even in the near future. Again, there's been a lot of talk about this, a lot of debates, I can't even say 100% if this information that came out is the best, most reliable source of info that we can go based off of, but it's all we kind of have from, an official person, right? Let's get into this. This information was actually shared by Shonen Games. Like I said, there has been a couple of things in Sparking Zero that are more related to the manga that they don't, have in, the anime, okay? The anime hasn't shown stuff like, for example, Vegeta has Gamma Burst Flash. That's like one of his signature techniques whenever he goes Super Saiyan Blue and stuff. This was a big surprise. They had this in there. Now, this isn't the first game that's had it. I think Dragon Ball Heroes has had it. I also think Dokkan did it. There might have been another game that did it. Xenoverse 2 did something similar. It was the Super Saiyan God version. They call it Prominence Flash. But it's basically just Final Flash, but he inverts his hands. The color of it is more of like a red kind of color. I mean, as you can see right here. I believe Goku Black has the Black Bind move, which he used, I think, against Goku in the manga as well, okay? So, I posted this on Twitter. This was a while back here. So, this is a great inside look of how manga content could get adapted for video games, okay? In the case of Sparking Zero, for example, if we wanted Moro in the game, just an example, like a brand new character that hasn't been in the anime yet, Spike would need special permission from Shueisha, okay? Shueisha has the rights to all the manga shit right now, especially right now with how there's the Capsule Corporation Tokyo, owned and, ran by Yoku, okay, who's doing all like anime, video games, more like merchandise related stuff. They said, hey, okay, if you want to compromise, if we're going to get this deal working and me to do my own thing, right, if I'm going to go separate from y'all, Shueisha, you can handle all the manga shit, right? So, the way that this would need to line up is for them to have a voice actor and an actual design, which, I mean, I know the Moro's design is there, but I'm talking about like whatever it may be for like the anime, if they were going to be doing like an anime adaptation, like get a full design sheet, how's it going to look exactly in the anime and stuff, and they would have to have all that planned, okay, for his character. In a sense, just a lot has to be, lined up, working, and, there's got to be a lot of compromise with it, okay? They have to go through all this stuff with, okay, we want, we have all this stuff prepared. It's not, out there in the anime yet, but we have it all ready, okay? Like, the foundation is there, right? And I doubt they're even there right now. We have Daima on the way. That's been the focus. So, again, I'm not expecting any of this stuff to happen anytime soon. And I'm not saying it will happen, and I'm not saying it's not going to happen, okay? This is just a discussion solely based on this information that was, presented. So, I'm going to read the whole thing because I personally found it very interesting. Okay, we're going to read the whole thing. You can skip through it. The main gist of it, I'm showing you guys right here for those of you that don't like watching a long video, but if you want all the details, this is what this next part is going to be. But this is the basic foundation of it, okay? They need special permission from Shueisha, and they have to have all this stuff kind of lined up and ready to go, okay, at the base of it, right? So, the article starts off here. Hiroshi Matsuyama was, he's probably still is president of CC2, okay? Now, this is in relation to Naruto, okay? Naruto Storm, okay? Because that was one of the few games that got manga content, which eventually was adapted in the anime, before we even saw it in the anime, okay? I believe it was the Naruto versus Sasuke, their final fight, right? So what he said about using manga and anime licensing, hopefully this sheds some light on Sparking Zero discussion. While this pertains to Naruto, this still, I think, is relevant for what's going on, okay? At the time, we were having a big discussion about this for Sparking, right? So Naruto and any IP will have two licenses, the story and anime. The story, aka the manga license, is the right to use the manga's story, even though Kishimoto, who's the author of Naruto, creates the manga, okay? Shueisha would be the company to obtain the license to create something based on the Naruto manga. They handle a lot of merchandise such as prints, t-shirts, calendars, etc., okay? Now then there's the anime license, okay? I didn't know that there were 2 separate licenses. When I saw this, I was like, God damn, bro. This stuff is getting so confusing and complicated. So to use the anime license, the following companies must be approached: Shueisha, TV Tokyo, and Studio Peria, okay? In this case, for Sparking Zero, it would probably be Shueisha and, Toei Animation, because they do everything with Dragon Ball. So you need an anime license to make other merchandises such as figures, trading cards, memo pads, shampoo, pajama snacks, blah, 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 video games. Okay, that's all we care about, right? Same goes for smartphone apps, Dokkan, Legends, etc. So we would gain anime materials from Studio Peria and go back and forth, asking them to check to see if the characters look great or need some work here and there. Also, we need to keep the same voice actors as the anime, okay? Now, there are some, like, weird exceptions to that. I think JoJo's All-Star Battle or whatever, they have different voice actors. I don't even think that has a dub. I could be wrong about that. But I think whoever voiced, like, Jolene, Johnny, and so all the characters are, like, part 6, 7, and 8 or whatever, they have different voice actors, okay? I mean, we don't have anything currently lined up for part 7 or part 8 for JoJo's yet, but I'm just saying, for example, the Jolene, she has like a different voice actor from the anime, so some stuff on there is different, but he's just saying what is usually what they're trying to go for, because of course, like, you want to have the same voice actors, line up. Like, for example, whenever they started doing, this is before I think we saw Goku Black in the anime and stuff, and same thing, I mean, Hit was in the anime, but we didn't have a voice actor for the English dub lined up and everything. But yeah, that's why Goku Black's voice in Xenoverse 2 is different. I can't remember if they changed that or not. It was more like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, or like a Batman version of Goku without the British accent, and then he finally, kind of figured that out at the time, okay? So at first, I didn't know all this is needed to be done. During game supervision meetings, I mentioned in the anime, the design looks nothing like it did in the manga. What if we did it like the manga's design, which froze the Bandai rep in place? I completely understand now, so I wouldn't ever mention this again. As we have the anime license, we must base the game on the anime, okay? So for the most part, that's why most of the games, they just stick with the anime, okay? Because when it's like you're doing the manga and stuff, like I said, a lot of stuff hasn't been lined up yet, okay? You don't got a voice actor yet, all right? The design on the anime, it should look like the manga, right? But, sometimes things change up a little bit. It's not always exact, all right? Just depending on, who's doing the, art, direction, and all that shit for it, okay? So, moving on, there's a second part to it, okay? And this part right here is just, again, it's a more expansion. Now, this gets kind of crazy, okay? But to kind of summarize it, I'm not going to go over this because this is a lot of information here. Again, I'll link it down below if you want to read every single detail. But when it comes to what you really want to hear is this section right here, okay? This is probably the best part. So we're going to read this because this is kind of, everything that is in regards to what we need to know about stuff for like Sparking or just Dragon Ball in general, okay? So I think a question was being asked, like, how restrictive everything is when it comes to like manga stuff. So he said, yeah, it's pretty restrictive, but that's just me being selfish. I wondered why we couldn't create stuff that has yet to be shown in the anime. It may take away a child's enjoyment of watching the anime, okay? The actual reason is that the studio has yet to decide on the look and the voice of those characters, okay? So I still think that there's a little, there's a bit of it that has to do with, okay, if, we had it in the anime compared to in the manga, okay, more people are inclined to watch the anime, okay, than read the manga. A lot of people still read the manga, don't get me wrong, but like more casual people who are like, I'll check out Dragon Ball Super, the anime right now, okay? And they probably have no idea about what happens after. They don't know what Ultra Ego Vegeta is or any of that stuff. So, like, if you just imagine that, like somebody more casual or just like a fan that doesn't, check out the manga, they're still a fan on the series. They like, the series, but they want to just watch something instead of read something. Dragon Ball fans can't read, that joke? So when it comes to this kind of situation, I feel like that is maybe a contributing factor. Obviously, it's better to wait until we have it in the anime because they're going to capitalize more on anime material, okay? There's going to be more hype around it, more eyes on it compared to, you know, the manga, for example. I've seen people here on Twitter who, or even like, for example, like my brother, he likes Dragon Ball and he'll follow Dragon Ball Super and stuff. And I think he's watched a little bit of the anime, not all of it, but like, if I told him about Ultra Ego Vegeta, he's like, what the hell is that? Like, what is going on with that? Same thing with, like, movie stuff, okay? He, like, for example, like, the movie stuff, because it's a movie and it's, like, you know, already animated, people can just sit and watch instead of having the, like, oh, okay, I gotta read this stuff and, you know, all that or whatever. You know, he knows what Beast Gohan is. He knows Orange Piccolo and Cell Max because we saw the movie, okay? But, like, he's not going... And again, I'm not saying that this is, like, a difficult thing, but he's not gonna go out of his way to go and, like, start reading the manga, which again, the manga isn't always accessible, especially in certain countries, okay, in terms of their languages and stuff. People have to go on these like crazy websites to do it, you know what I mean? Like, at least the anime, it's a little bit more accessible, okay, for the most part, compared to like, you know, whenever it's coming to the manga and like I said, certain countries, okay? So, of course, the studio focuses on animating Part 1, which was not part of their plans then. Again, they're talking about Part 1 of Naruto, Part 2 being Shippuden, okay? Which is not part of their plans then. We formulated a plan to gain the go-ahead to add something to a game that has yet to be animated. We may have heard that the character's voice actor has been hired and plans are being slowly put into motion in the pre-animation stage. So it's like they're getting close to things. Like I said, they have things lined up, okay? They got their designs. They got the, you know, voice actor, okay? It's not animated yet, and it hasn't aired yet, but these people are already in talks with these companies, okay? Now, there's a lot more to this article, but unfortunately, it's behind a paywall, which is hilarious. The irony, right? So, I mean, this is all just all from what Shonen Games has posted so that we can get some insight on it. So, somebody asked, but didn't Storm 4 adapt the manga because the adaptation of the ending there came out in the game first before the anime? And that's absolutely true. I remember that, okay? I was there when it happened. I was like, damn. This is crazy. Like, we're watching the anime here. It's in 3D. Okay, but, you know, this is before we even saw it in the anime yet, right? This is in a video game. So, Shonen Games, he posted this. He said, I didn't post the whole thing, but he goes on to say that they made an exception for Storm 4 because of the relationships CC2 built with the licensors. See, that's even more stuff that they have to think about, okay? So, it's not only that, like, okay, we got it all lined up. Okay, we have the voice actor, we have the character design ready to go and everything, okay? It hasn't been animated yet, but we want to get this in the game before the anime, you know, shows it, okay? But it also has to do with connections. You guys know connections in life will get you pretty much where you need to go, okay? You know, if you have strong bonds and good connections with certain licensors or these companies or whatever it may be, okay? So, for example, Spike Chunsoft would have to build a good connection probably with, like, Toei, with, you know, Shueisha, obviously. Like, maybe they have, maybe they haven't. I don't know. We have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, but I'm saying with all these, even, like, you know, Capsule Corporation Tokyo and stuff like that, like, they have to have all these good relationships with whoever is the owner's presidents or whatever it may be. All these licensors, all these motherfuckers out there, okay? These dudes... Okay, if they can get that permission and have a good relationship with them, hey, who knows? Maybe we'll see Ultra Ego Vegeta in the future for these games, okay? Sparking Zero, I feel like, out of any game, Sparking Zero and probably like Dokkan, those two games, because they're just like the biggest right now, okay? Sparking Zero isn't out yet, but we know that game is going to go crazy hard, right? So like I'm just using a console, you know, arena fighter game, and then one of the mobile games, okay? Those I would say would be the two, if anything, that would get manga stuff first, okay? And they kind of already have shown it. And another example is people bring up, oh, what about, you know, Kakarot and stuff, okay? And I've even brought this up here, you know, when it comes to Gohan versus Kefla, potentially being like a what-if path in the story mode for Sparking Zero. Not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just, you know, speculating because that would be a good thing. You know, stuff in the Kakarot, right? That was stuff that was, like, it kind of worked, right? It's stuff we're never going to see that. I mean, they mentioned it in the anime, but we're not going to see the full thing fleshed out in the anime because it already ended. They already did that part, right? But they didn't show all the details where Trunks goes Super Saiyan 2 for the first time and, you know, defeats Tabora and stuff. Like, see the actual fight. It was like a flashback scene that only lasted a bit. It wasn't like a full-on, you know, arc that they showed in the anime. So that's still part of the anime. You know, it still happened, but the best way that they could have, you know, done it was put it in a video game. I feel like it just, again, things kind of lined up for that. It wasn't, they probably did have to get special permission and everything for that as well. And again, that's CC2. Okay, CC2 seems to have already built a good relationship with, what's it called? Just Shueisha probably in general, right? So I think that company, just as a whole, you can see and expect more manga-related stuff, you know, compared to all these other games. I'm just using that as an example just because from what was shown and expressed here with what Shonen Game said, okay? CC2 has built a good relationship with the licensors, okay? And CC2 did Kakarot. So, again, all that kind of makes more sense, but it's not completely out of the question. I think one day it can eventually happen. I wouldn't expect it. Again, I know people want this stuff so badly. Believe me, I want Ultra Ego Vegeta. I want Granola. I want Moro. It would be sick. But it's just not really too likely to happen until the anime happens. I feel like just waiting for the anime, that's more of a guarantee for whenever we're going to get this stuff, right? So let me know your thoughts and opinions about it. I thought it was just interesting. It's a lot to, you know, digest. I try to summarize some of the things here and there. Again, I don't know anything about this kind of stuff. I'm reading it off of a source that comes directly from, like, you know, one of the CC2 employees and shit. So, I mean, you can, you know, take that with a grain of salt or take it and run with it, right? And be like, hey, this is what we're going to base it off. So, thank you for watching. Drop a like, subscribe here on the channel, ring my notification bell. I'll see you guys next time. Peace!
This is Broly, and you are watching SLOplays. Make sure to subscribe, or else I'll destroy your entire planet!